Welcome to the TOEFL Listening section. In this section, you will listen to an academic lecture and then answer questions about what you heard. You may take notes while you listen. You will have time to review your notes before answering the questions. Listen to part of a lecture in a university class. You will hear the lecture only once, so listen carefully. After the lecture, you will answer some questions about what you heard. Some questions ask about the main ideas and supporting details. Other questions ask you to make inferences or connections between ideas. Answer each question based on what is stated or implied in the lecture.
Today we will examine social conformity experiments, a central topic in behavioral science that studies how group pressure affects individual behavior. I will describe classic studies, methodological techniques, key variables that influence conformity, and contemporary issues such as cultural variation and replication concerns. First, Sherif used the autokinetic effect in the 1930s to study informational influence. He placed a single point of light in a dark room and asked participants to estimate how far it moved, even though it did not move. When participants made estimates in groups, their judgments converged over time, showing how ambiguous situations lead people to look to others for information. By contrast, Solomon Asch in the 1950s used an unambiguous line judgment task to reveal normative influence. Naive participants were placed with confederates who gave wrong answers on obvious trials. Asch found that participants conformed to the incorrect majority on about 37% of trials, which demonstrates the power of social pressure even when the correct answer is clear. Researchers often use confederates, people who are part of the experiment but appear to be fellow participants, to create a controlled majority or minority influence. Moscovici explored minority influence by having consistent minorities give a different color label to ambiguous color slides. When the minority was consistent, it exerted measurable influence over time. Moscovici reported that a small but significant proportion of majority responses shifted under a consistent minority, showing that consistency and confidence are important for minority impact. Experimental manipulations have identified core variables. Group size matters. Conformity tends to increase as the number of majority members rises, but it plateaus after about 3 to 4 members. Another variable is unanimity. Unanimity is decisive, and just one dissenter can reduce conformity markedly. Anonymity and private responses reduce normative pressure and therefore decrease conformity, whereas task difficulty and ambiguity increase informational influence. There are also individual difference factors. People who value independence or who have high confidence in their judgment are less likely to conform, while those who prioritize social harmony may conform more. Cross-cultural studies show that collectivist cultures often display higher rates of conformity on these tasks, because social norms and group cohesion are emphasized more strongly. Methodological concerns are important. We use confederates to manipulate social context, but this raises ethical issues and concerns about ecological validity and demand characteristics. Recent replication attempts have confirmed many core findings, like the effects of unanimity and group size, but have also highlighted the need for transparency and larger, more diverse samples in conformity research. Finally, understanding conformity experiments has practical implications for areas such as public health messaging, jury decision-making, and organizational behavior, where group influence can shape individual choices. In summary, Social conformity experiments reveal the mechanisms of normative and informational influence, the roles of unanimity, group size, and minority consistency, and the importance of careful experimental design.
Listen again to part of a lecture, then answer the question.
Unanimity is decisive, and just one dissenter can reduce conformity markedly.
This concludes the listening section. For more TOEFL practice tests and study materials, visit spinta.org.